Hello, and thank you for joining me at Spooky Reviews. I'm the Ghostess, and in honor of the February 3rd release of Rings, I've been looking back at the movies that started it all. Today I'll be reviewing the American sequel made in 2005, The Ring 2. So, what happened? Holy crap, okay, there's a lot. So we begin in Astoria, Washington, where douchey teen tries to pass the tape along to some girl, but she's too scared to open her eyes and he gets ringed. We catch up with the Kellers, reporter Rachel and her son Aiden, who's finally grown into his teeth, and have just moved to the same coastal town to start over. But Rachel hears about douchey's death, and she can't help investigating, breaking into the ambulance with his slack-jawed corpse, and later the crime scene to fetch the tape. She makes a hobo fire by a bridge and burns the tape, apparently forgetting she destroyed the original in the first movie after making a copy, and we already established this isn't the copy she made, but this somehow sets Samara free, allowing her to travel through electricity and end up in Aiden's dreams. They go to an antique market where Aiden spies some suspicious-looking CGI deer, and then goes to the bathroom where he catches Samara creeping on him in the mirror and then on camera. On their way home, their car is attacked by deer, presumably taking vengeance on behalf of their horse friends from part 1, trying to antler Samara's dark ghost that's hitched a ride on Aiden's soul. Rachel's car is destroyed, but that's not going to keep her from driving it home and getting a seriously low-temperatured Aiden in bed. Samara cuts the power, climbing into Aiden's window, but is also him the whole time, scratching in the corner, cause creepy, I guess, and then fire etches a tree into the wall. Rachel flees with her kid back to the newspaper, where everyone else is at work but her, and her reporter friend Max helps them back to his place. She draws her son a hot bath and leaves him alone in the house of a strange man she hardly knows, while she runs home and finds the creepy pics of Samara trolling Aiden's selfies. Rachel returns to find the bathroom is being upside down flooded by Samara's aquakinetic abilities, as she holds onto Aiden in the tub and becomes him again. Max sees Rachel trying to drown her son and finally takes him to a hospital. There, Rachel shows Max the selfies and explains that Samara is an evil ghost, and if he wants proof, he should take a picture of Aiden himself. When she goes to kiss him goodnight, Aiden grabs Rachel's arm, and we dive into his mind well to see a new series of creepy vague images, presumably Aiden using Samara's image projection magic to help Rachel Scooby-Doo this mystery. The most direct and tactless child psychiatrist ever interrogates Rachel about child abuse on honestly pretty compelling suspicions and kicks Rachel out of the hospital. She then rents a car and starts investigating, going back to the Morgan Ranch and finding Samara's birth mom's scrapbook. The psychiatrist gets hypnotized by Samara in Aiden's body into killing herself with a syringe full of air, allowing him to escape the hospital. Rachel discovers that Samara was born to a woman who claimed there was no father and the baby was born of the waters beyond this world. Samara only cried at bath time, so naturally her mother tried to drown the devil out of her, but got stopped by nuns and sent off to the loony bin, leaving Samara to be adopted by the Morgans. Rachel goes to visit Evelyn in the mental hospital, who people frequently visit as a patron saint for people with children's trouble. Hello, Sissy Spacek, you beautiful bitch. She tells Rachel to drown the evil out of Aiden, in so many words, claiming Samara told her to do the same thing before she was stopped. Meanwhile, Samara Aiden walks home by herself without being noticed, and he's enjoying a nice night of watching TV static, and Max stops by to check in on the kid who wandered away from the hospital. He tries to take a picture, but Dara ain't having it. Rachel comes home, notices her kid isn't calling her by her first name, and likely left Max's scared-to-death corpse in his still-running car. Unsure of what to do, she decides to take a nap and dream mind melds with Aiden, where he convinces his mother to drown him. She wakes up to find some Aiden watching cartoons and makes her a jelly and sleeping pills sandwich. Right as he comes to, claiming to be Aiden, Rachel dunks him underwater, drowning him and causing Samara to grudge her way out of his mouth and turn into a water slosh spirit, leaving only Aiden behind. And it could all end there, but there's still 16 minutes left to the movie. So Aiden wakes up for realsies, but Samara is back in TV land and she is not happy. She starts doing her well walk of doom, but Rachel realizes that all Samara wanted all along was a mother's love, and she just lets Samara drag her into the TV universe, landing her back in the well. Rachel climbs out of the well with demon Samara bone cracking her way up not far behind, but Rachel wins the race and seals the well for good this time. And it's still got more? Okay, so Rachel wanders through TV land, finds herself on Suicide Cliff, and decides it's time to take the plunge. She comes to, eyeball first, on a wet spot in front of the TV, telling Aiden that for realsies this time, Samara is never going to hurt them again.
gut reaction.
What even is this movie? I definitely felt like it borrowed outside its original source material. I got a lot of dark water out of this movie, and the American remake did come out the same year. The plot is all over the place, so crammed full of ideas that don't fit together and contradict the previously established universe. And it almost seems like someone wanted a Ring sequel and then tried to Frankenstein one from something else entirely. I definitely ragged on how creepy David Dorfman is in the other film, but he's a fine actor for a kid, especially for a kid given whatever strange direction they gave him. And I'm glad this sequel took the hint that he was creepier than Samara and went, okay, give her his face. The biggest problem with my viewing this time around is that I only saw the movie once before, and that was in theaters, so I only vaguely remembered a couple of things about the plot, one of which being that Aiden was possessed by Samara at one point. So after the first dream happened, I was like, okay, right, so he's possessed. And Aiden's character is so soft and creepums fantastique that he already seems like a character who's possessed by a creepy ghost. So then I get to the scene where he's taking pictures in the bathroom, and I'm like, now he's possessed. But no. And then again that night in the bedroom. But no. And then later in the bathtub. And it's really not clear if she's actually haunting him or possessing him until he wakes up from the coma. And that's only because Aiden never calls Rachel mommy. And when your character's entire personality can be summed up in vague, that's the only signifier you can use, then you've got a huge problem in your demonic possession movie. And that's when I remembered my friends and I had the same confusion when we watched it in high school. I think because so much happens in the movie, it feels 10 times longer than it is. I wanted to have a tantrum. I couldn't believe it was still going. It had 3 possession scenes, 3 investigate and gets you nowhere scenes, and 3 endings. And there's a weird part of the plot that seems to be saying, but what if those women who claimed voices were telling them to drown their babies were really trying to kill the demons possessing them? Using it twice to make characters who are later proven to be good mothers seem crazy, but weirdly also ends up sounding like postpartum depression is the first sign you might actually have an evil baby. Samara's powers are completely inconsistent, and the weird TV world only serves to make what's happening seem less scary. This was directed by the same person who did Ringu, Hideo Nakata, and I was really surprised at how ugly it is in comparison to his other work. There are some nice shots and angles, but everything was so hodgepodged. The camera never stopped moving, and the editing was bonkers. It felt like someone who had a lot of thoughts that didn't fit into their other projects and decided, well, I'll just make this one gumbo. It's got some really ridiculous dialogue too, and far too many what the fuck moments for me to handle. 30 seconds for best bits, go! The doctor killing herself by calmly injecting air into her veins is one of the only things I remembered from my first viewing, and now I know why. Just how calm and even-toned the scene plays out makes it so much creepier. It doesn't really make sense with what Samara's powers are supposed to be, but it's a very creative kill, and the actress pulls it off with such a serene expression on her face. I really admire her performance in such a small role. Also Sissy Spacek. End of list. Here are cute pictures of my cats! 30 seconds for nitpicks, go! The fake deer attack the car and then just stand around like, that's right, you better run. What were they trying to accomplish? How'd she drive home in that car and not get pulled over? I get why Rachel wouldn't think a hospital would help, but why doesn't she take him there before she thinks Samara is involved? How did child Aiden walk home without the cops picking him up? Where are the cops in this town? Oh, so Samara's dad is really Garrett Jacob Hobbs. Now it all makes sense. Wait, that whole scene where they're racing to the top of the well. This face. The special and practical effects. She gets sucked into the television! Final thoughts. It's not very scary, and it's not so bad it's funny either. It just is. For an hour and 45 minutes. That feel like 3 hours. It's okay for a couple chuckles, but compared to the effort put into the other movies, American and Japanese, this is just crap. And I mean every department. Acting, directing, editing, sound mixing, special effects, everything. I won't watch it again, but if you're a bigger The Ring fan than I was, maybe you'll like it a bit more. For me, it's only a 2 out of 10 spookies. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me at Spooky Ghostess on Twitter, and to see more of my thoughts on the films, visit theghostessreviews.com. Boo for now.